Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer. Tonight I'm going to do a quick update 7. Robin's out here in the garage doing some painting on some things, and so I decided to come back out here in the train room and do a little video. I have almost all of the foam attached down. I'll go over what I lack yet, but you'll be able to get more of an idea how these elevations work on here. So let's take a look tonight. Okay, gang. You actually saw this grade in. It goes around here and goes to 1 inch, as I said, and it's 1 inch going all around until it goes under the bridge right there. Then once it goes under the bridge, it starts inclining at 2% until it gets to about there. Then it turns to 3 inch, and that's a 2 inch with a 1 inch on top of it, and it's 3 inch all the way back to there. Then when it gets there, it starts inclining up and gets up to about 4 inches. Then it inclines on up at 2% until it gets to the high point, which I had mentioned to you guys, wound up being about 5.5 inches right back in there. Then it comes down at 2% back here until it gets down to 4 inch. And this whole siding here is 4 inch all the way back to there. There's a piece of track missing. Then it comes down and comes across the bridge and comes back down into this siding and back around the loop again. This incline that you see going up here, there'll be another bridge side by side to that one coming into that track right there. That is the reverse section for one direction. The reverse section for the other one is laying down here. I haven't got the foam in for that yet. It will go up and attach to that turnout right up there. The track in the middle will be sloped downward and goes under the bridge over there at ground level, and it will feed all this area here. I think we've covered that. But let me go down to this end if I can maneuver through all the trash here and just turn around and give you an eyeball view of how the whole meandering lays out. Now you can see how the elevations work. Of course, when I get up high, they don't show up as well. If I get down low here, you can see how the elevations work. And then, of course, we'll have the yard right down here at ground zero. There was somebody asking in one of my videos how that was going to pan out. It pans out in that... Oh, there's Robin. It pans out in that it's going to come downhill right here at a very, very shallow angle and go down to ground level. So the yard and stuff is basically the only thing that's going to be ground level. Everything else, all the main line, is actually elevated from a 1 inch on up. Now you can see how this track comes around here. And like I say, there'll be another bridge just like that right next to it here, attaching to this. I think I showed in the other video, I'm thinking about a lake in here. Other than that, guys, let me show you how this... I didn't really take any video of me laying any of this foam, so I'm going to just lay a piece somewhere here and show you how it works. Okay, everybody, this is how I did the track. I had the track laid out. I came along and drew a mark on each side of the track once I had the track laid out. Then you come back with whatever size riser you're using. This happens to be, I believe, a 2 inch high. And you can look down, you can't see it from the angle you are, but you can look down through it and see where your track is centered on the foam. And you just go on each side. And you don't have to do it real often, but just tack the foam down with the foam nails that Woodland Scenes has. You could probably use something else, but these nails are easy to use. They have a nice T-head on them. And you can see that I only have 4 of them in there. And then you get your low temperature glue gun. And you could go along the whole thing, but what I did is every other section of foam, and I did it on both sides where I could reach. Some places you obviously can't reach. And that's it for right now, and we'll let that dry and I'll show you how tough it is. Okay, it's been about, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes. I've let it get hard. Let the hot glue get hard. It doesn't take very long at all. Now you can just pull your nails out. We'll go around the back here. Pull our couple of nails out. And you can see that this is sturdy as a rock. Well, you know, of course you can move the pieces in, Of course you can move the pieces in between, but you could glue every one and make it super solid. But you can see that my radius I drew fits right on top of it. What I haven't started to do yet, I don't have all my risers put in yet on some of my sidings and some of the raised areas in here. What I was going to tell you is, and if you've watched any of the videos on this stuff, you've got to put something over the top of this, otherwise all your ballast material and everything will fall right through. So what they recommend is using the plaster cloth. So what I'm going to do is get long pieces of plaster cloth, cut them, wet them, and I'm going to cut them about a little bit wider than this, and just drape them over the top and try and smooth them out as smooth as I can get them. At least that's the game plan. But you can see that it's pretty sturdy. In fact, it's hard. It would be hard for me to pull it off of there. And you can see that it's pretty tough. You can get it off, and I think that's the idea, is you don't want something to be super permanent. Besides that, when you put your plaster cloth, your scenery and everything up to it, it's going to make a super strong bond, and this stuff is never going to go anywhere. You can see that I can pull it off the pink foam, but it does etch the pink foam, and it tore some of the white foam off where it's glued. So it does make a nice tight bond. I'm not worried about any of it coming off of here. And really, I guess with the exception of putting in some pieces yet, I did stick some track back together back down here so you can kind of see how the reverse section is going to come up and over the bridge and tie back in. I got the piece in the back hooked back together back there. Let me get up here maybe, and you can kind of see that siding. Some of the double track is kind of like, well, let me turn back around here. I have actually a piece right here that hangs off, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut some small strips. I'm going to get on my saw, my circular saw, or maybe just cut them out by hand, I don't know. But I was thinking about cutting some maybe 1-inch wide strips right off of a piece of this 2-inch foam, and then glue it right to the side of that before I put the plaster cloth over, just to give it a little more support under there. Any place where it overhangs. Of course, this piece of track here just got misaligned. It just goes back in the middle. But any place that it overhangs and any place that needs to be raised up, I'll do it with some kind of 2-inch foam. I've got some risers in here right now, but this is all going to be 2 inches high because I have that turnoff coming out into here, and I was thinking about maybe putting the lumber mill in here. So I want to raise this up to 2 inches, which means that this track will be a little bit low, and this track over here will be a little bit high as it comes around there. Not sure about that, but I do know I need to raise it up if I'm going to put any kind of industry on it. The same thing where that turnout over there goes off in the back. The same thing, hang on a minute, let me get my lens turned again. Same thing with that siding that's laying down in there. which will be the mine. I've got to get that up about 4 inches. And I thought I still had some 4-inch risers, but I think I only have 2 inches. So I have to do it in 2 layers. Not a problem, but I'll get it up there. And for now, really, that's about how simple it was. And you can see how fast it has gone. I took a couple hours out today to go to the NMRA meeting here in town. And, oh, I don't know. I think all in all, after getting the track laid out, to put all these risers in, may have taken me a total of about 10 hours. And that's because I was debating on these track levels over here. But anyway, I really like the system. I can't attest to the cost of the foam. It's not too expensive. You don't want to have it shipped. The shipping is incredibly expensive. However, if you can find it at some local shop, or find it at a Hobby Lobby, or find it somewhere where they've already gotten free shipping on it, that would probably be the way to go. But it's relatively inexpensive to buy the foam. You probably pay way more in shipping than they paid for the foam. But anyway, without rambling on and on, I think I'm going to wrap this one up tonight, and I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Just a short one tonight, just to show you where I'm at, and you can get a way better idea of how these grades work and some of the ideas that I have. So, I hope you enjoyed it, and as usual, thanks for watching.